Drive Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. This is episode... Steve, what episode is this?
204.
Ooh, I almost
which is one after 203.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate that because I thought that it was 203, but 203 was actually kayak fishing in the salt water, which was a really good podcast. Actually, the past couple have been some really good podcasts, to be honest, and if you missed out on them, you might want to go back and give them a listen. I don't think we've had a bad one yet. Out of 204 episodes, I don't think there's been a bad one, or one that we haven't put out anyways. So, this is your boy East Coast Trev, and I'm joined by my good buddy, Mr. Madman Mardick. What's up, man?
What up? What up, brother?
Oh, just that summer grind. Dude, tell you this. Yesterday, I swear that I was in the perfect storm, or pretty damn close to it anyways.
Yeah?
Oh, it was bad.
You survived?
I mean, I did survive, but it came out of nowhere, dude. I was just like, we're just fishing, had some clients with us, this, that, and the other thing, and man, it just erupted, and it was just wild. And I was like, oh, not this again. I've been through this, dude. I don't know if you remember, but in 2016, I had a crazy scenario that happened to me on the water, and I remember having to phone home that I probably wasn't going to come home, but I made it home. But it was crazy. It was just nuts. It was 12 to 14 footers. It was just the moon aligned with the wind, and it was just absolutely wild, dude. And I remember like it was yesterday. We got back into the harbor, and we told our old buddy Ghost Hunter to put on some music. Do you know what he put on? Could you imagine?
No.
Take a guess.
Tell me.
Take a guess.
Just tell me. I'm not a guesser.
You're not? Oh, you're not one of those guys?
No.
Why not?
I don't like surprises and I don't like guessing.
What do you mean you don't like surprises?
Are you going to fucking tell us or not?
So he put on Billy Joel, Down East Alexa.
Oh, good tune.
No, that's a horrible... Yeah, it's a great tune, but it's horrible in those scenarios.
Situation, that was a great call.
No. It was
better than Edmund Fitzgerald.
This is true, but I'm just saying, it's that's not a good call, dude. We almost just died, and you put on Down East Alexa. Come on, bro. Not a good idea at all. But anyways, now we made it through it, and the fishing's been phenomenal. I mean, I'll tell you, a lot of fish on the reefs now. There's, that spring run, and those fish are almost out. They're out of the river. A ton of bluefish this year. It's just been phenomenal. The tuna bite has been just crazy. And, our buddy Colby got a bunch of tuna. Josh. I mean, there's just been tuna everywhere. Guys have been doing real good with that. Big stripers.
Brower just crushed some mahis.
Yeah, he crushed some mahi. He was in the tri-state tournament. He was fishing a tournament, yeah. Tons of mahis around. The big bluefins. Remember Take a Chance Charters that was next to us in Springfield?
Yep.
Yeah. He just caught.
He was laid up at Springfield, right?
Yeah, he was.
He was in the little booty.
For sure. Yep. Yeah, he was laid up there, and he got some giants that went to for sale. The past couple of days, I've seen a couple different ones. So fishing's been phenomenal, dude. It's been a knockout, dude. It definitely been a knockout. So that's good to know. And maybe when you get out, maybe you'll catch something.
Yeah, if you ever have time for me, you could take me out. That'd be great.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go out with some other people because I'm not cool enough.
No, I've been waiting for an invite from you, but you work too much now all of a sudden, so I just get shafted. You did remind me of I'm doing a giveaway. I didn't talk about this on the podcast, but
should we talk about this before? I don't know about this thing.
Yeah. No, I didn't tell you about this yet. So
that's what scares me. Weekend, so what are you going to give away?
I was with Drew 4th of July weekend. We went out on his boat in the Connecticut River, and there's always chance of scattered thunder showers. Well, one rolled in on us pretty quick, and it got pretty scary. We were scared. We had the kids with us and everything, and we're ripping up the Connecticut River like full throttle.
This is
Of
what
course,
happened to me
there's
yesterday,
logs.
bro.
Yes, but you're used to it. I'm not a water guy. I'm a land lover. So, I mean, it's pouring rain. We're hiding behind the center console. We got the kids tucked in behind the steering wheel, like protecting them, making sure no one's falling out of the boat. We're just ripping up the river. I'm trying, there's all those logs in the river floating downstream. It was really bad. So I'm like kind of trying to peek around the windshield to keep an eye out for Drew to make sure he doesn't hit a log full throttle, just getting pelted with rain like it was like hail. And my outdoor drive hat flew off.
Yeah. What are you giving away?
My hat. If anyone finds it in the Connecticut River, you can keep it.
Oh.
So it's an outdoor drive hat worn by the Madman. You scoop it up. It's all yours.
Well, if I knew that, I would have been looking, dude. That was like a month ago, dude. Like
I've been thinking. I figured you've been out there so much. You've been looking for that missing submarine. See any traces of that?
No missing submarine. But I mean, like, if you told me, like, dude, maybe I could have found your hat. I mean, I'm only there every day.
I know. Well, it's long gone. Some kid probably already has it.
It's probably washed up on some short. Dude, it's probably with the dock, the ice cooler, the car, the boat, everything else that I've seen floating down the Connecticut River lately.
Some kid found it. Now he's wearing the hat. He doesn't even know it used to belong to a living legend, you know? It's like crazy. He doesn't even know he's got it. But maybe he'll listen to this and be like, oh, that's where this hat came from.
I love the fact that you just classified yourself as a living legend.
Hey, everybody, it's all how you see it.
I guess it is what it is, bro.
It is what it is.
Hey, before I get on with sponsors, do you have a Killer's Corner?
No. People have been slacking on the Facebook page, man. Or maybe I've been slacking keeping up with it.
Oh, probably a little bit of both. But I tell you, we kind of did our own. Like I said, I mean, those guys have all caught some real good fish. But for those that don't know, if you guys are just tuning in for the first time here for the Outdoor Drive, we have an Outdoor Drive family group on Facebook called The Outdoor Drive. And you get on there and you post up your kills or your catches or whatever. It doesn't even matter what you post up there. Even you went grocery shopping with your wife. I mean, you did something and you post it up, and then we'll mention you here on the Outdoor Drive. Well, Mardik will. That's his job. So that's the Killer's Corner. So, yeah. Well, maybe we do some sweeping. We'll sweep some shit under the corners.
Yeah, I'm thinking let's get these sponsors out of the way. Do the news for the cruise. I'm done talking fishing. I want to talk bow hunting tonight. I'm kind of over the fishing right now. What do you think?
Why? Because you have nothing to talk about?
Yeah. Just take a nap. I'll just take a nap while you record.
All right. Well, I'll take a nap while you record. How's that?
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, first and foremost, we are brought to you by Huntworth Gear, huntworthgear.com. Get more for less with Huntworth. There is a lot of early season clothing that they do offer. You guys can get on over their website, huntworthgear.com. Check their stuff out. Some great stuff. We used it during turkey season. It's the same stuff that I'm going to be using during deer season. While I'm in my Latitude, latitudeoutdoors.com, my Latitude saddle. The new carbon sticks are out and they are shipping, so you guys can go check them out. Use the promo code OutdoorDrive10, or it's actually just Outdoor Drive. I think you save 15%, 10%, something like that. Use that promo code when you are ordering that. And then
I got to interrupt you real quick though.
Here we go.
Aside from product of Latitude, if you haven't checked out what Latitude's putting out right now for YouTube and
their content
podcasts, their content right now is next level stuff. A lot of stuff with Jake Bush with like scouting and breaking down like deer hunting situations and all that. Like it's next level stuff. It's incredible. I highly recommend checking that out if you get a chance.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Nor'easter Game Calls, nor'eastergamecalls.com, the custom grunt tubes. If you guys don't get them on the website and you guys are going to be at Huntstock August 10th, 11th, and 12th, or is it the 11th, 12th, 13th? I always mix that up, but it's that weekend. You guys can check it out at huntstock.com. You guys can come and check us out. We'll be there. Nor'easter Game Calls will be next to us, and we'll be selling the Nor'easter Game Calls grunt tubes. And you can get on nor'eastergamecalls.com, gets your turkey calls, your mouth calls, everything that you could possibly imagine as far as calling. Now's the time to get that stuff and practice with it. As I say all the time, it's always time to have it on your mind and on your brain and getting ready for the next year. Now's the time to get all this stuff and get ready for the next season. And Bowhunters United, bowhuntersunited.com. The link is below to sign up for that. You do get a month's free, or a year's free of Deer and Deer Hunting magazine. We found out because we were all wondering why we got Deer and Deer magazine mailed to us in the mail. And I'm looking at this magazine. I'm like, where did this come from? Well, it came from my Bowhunters United, along with a lot of other things. Bowhunters United offers so many great things when you sign up for them, and they are an advocate for us as bow hunters, but they also bring you news for your crews here with Mr. Mike Salter. Let's take a break from our normal, crazy mayhem and give it on over to Mr. Mike Salter with news for your crews. All right, guys, why don't we buckle up and see what's going on in the world of news with Mr. Mike Salter.
Hey everyone, we're going to start this one off with some newly passed bills in California. Bill 1611, which generally makes any violation of the Fish and Game Code or any rule, regulation, or order made or adopted under the code a misdemeanor, and also makes the violation of specified regulations and provisions of the code, primarily relating to commercial fishing, an infraction or a misdemeanor. Next, Bill 1760, which made technical revisions and requires that funds deposited into the big game management account be available for expenditure upon appropriation by the legislature to the Department of Fish and Wildlife only for certain purposes, and eliminates the authorization to expend those funds to implement programs to benefit wild pigs. Now for some national legislation that needs support. S1634, which provides for the designation of certain wilderness areas, recreation management areas, and conservation areas in Colorado. S440, which designates certain land administered by BLM and the Forest Service in Oregon as wilderness and national recreation areas, and to withdraw certain land in Curry and Josephine counties from all forms of entry, appropriation, or disposal under the public land laws, location, entry, and patent under the mining laws, and operation under the mineral and geothermal leasing laws. And S1254, which designates and expands wilderness areas in Olympic National Forest in Washington. Now in New York, where the legislative session closed on June 10th, on closing, the hunting contest ban had not been approved. The assembly was called back on June 20th to the 21st for a host of cleanup activities and quietly passed the hunting contest ban. Word is that the governor may support this bill, A2917, even though procedural hijinks were used to get it passed. To take action and voice opposition to this bill, go to the Sportsman's Alliance website, which has a direct link to oppose that bill. Now to Iowa and a new requirement for deer hunters. Hunters who now harvest antlered deer are required to report the length of the main beam of each antler. A 7-inch ruler will be printed on the back of your tag to measure each beam. Now to Arkansas, where the Game and Fish Commission director announced the formation of a new branch to focus on recreational shooting and development of shooting ranges and programs throughout the state. The Recreational Shooting Division will be pursuing a partnership with the City of Clarksville and University of the Ozarks to help grow the university's clay target shooting program and building an Olympic-level shooting sports facility in Clarksville for students and the general public. So hopefully some great opportunities coming for recreational shooters there. Now to Alabama, where registration for the fall Becoming an Outdoors Woman workshop opens on August 1st at 7 a.m. for first-time attendees and on August 7th at 7 a.m. for first-timers and returning participants. The workshop will be held on October 6th to the 8th at the 4-H Center near Columbiana. The workshop is designed for those 18 and older, and participants can choose from over 50 courses to participate in over the 3 days, including hunting, fishing, shooting, sports, map and compass, camping, camp cooking, ATV handling, canoeing, and boat handling. The registration fee is $275, which includes meals, lodging, program materials, and instruction. And for more information, including a list of classes and the class descriptions, go to outdooralabama.com/BOW. Now to Michigan, where the DNR and the Michigan State University Extension will be holding a one-day introductory workshop for forest management basics on August 11th at Kirkland Community College in Grayling. Forest resource professionals will discuss forest management options in between field trips to a sawmill and a particle board plant. The workshop is $10, which includes a light breakfast and lunch. And for more info or to register, which needs to be done by August 7th, call Julie Crick at 989-275-7179. Also, don't forget to become a member of Bowhunters United by clicking on the Outdoor Drives affiliate link in the episode description to preserve and expand your bow hunting rights. As always, if you have any news to send along to me, it'd be greatly appreciated. Reach out to me at Mike Salter on Facebook or bearded_bowhunter21 on Instagram. And with that, enjoy the rest of your ride.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. And Bowhunters United and all of the other sponsors. If you guys haven't already, get on over to the outdoordrive.com. You can check out all of our sponsors, all the great things that we have going on. YouTube is about to get fired up. We're about to do the Doe Slaughter Festival. On our YouTube page, we have 4 or 5 different doe kills from last season that we're going to share with you guys, so you guys can go check it out. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button over there on YouTube. YouTube is going to be getting going here. Some other really great stuff that we have coming forth, as we said, will be in Huntstock. That's going to kick it off for us. We will see you at Huntstock. Hey, do you think maybe I should share our video for we'll see you at Huntstock of me, you, and Seth?
The Backstreet Boys one?
Yeah.
I could live without it.
Well, I think I'm gonna make a reel of it just cause.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
It's all for the We do it all for the gram, right?
Yeah, all for the gram, dude. All for the tickety talk. You know.
Yep. For sure. It's all for love and likes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what we do, dude. It's just the way that it goes. I mean, if it's not for you being a living legend or, for love and likes, I just don't know what else to do. I mean, I'm just here for you, bro. I'm just here for you, I mean, dude, speaking of, and the season's about to get going, I mean, I'm ready to find a nice deer, dude. I mean, have you picked out any deer names yet or what? I'm
ready for you to start looking for one.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta start doing that. Did you see Lou's deer? Lou's got that deer draggers, man, dude. I cannot wait to see what that thing ends up coming out as. I mean, dude, that thing's insane. What a great deer.
Yeah, I'm looking for. It's been fun watching that one grow.
It really has. I mean, and it's crazy the way that he walks, and that's why his name is Draggers, because he drags that toe, and I'm looking forward to see. I hope he kills that deer early season. I mean, all the boys got some really good deer that's potentially, going to do something.
For sure.
You do
I'm just looking.
Do you?
Always got something hanging around. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, I can't wait to kill a doe, dude. I'm dying to kill a doe.
Just smash one opening day right in the rib cage.
Speaking of, in tonight's episode, we have the boys from the Bowhunters League, as you guys already know. That's why you clicked on this and you started listening to it. But, dude, they have a doe competition. I'm in. I might actually win something.
Did anybody get hornier about that than Seth? As soon as Seth found out there was a doe competition, he's like, I'm all in.
He got anti-horny about it because it was a doe competition. I love it.
Okay, touche. Yeah, but Seth.
Yeah. Well, let's break it on over to the boys from Bowhunting League, our good buddy, Mr. DA and crew. All right, we are back with the boys from the Bowhunting League. We got DA and Wayne. What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Thanks for having us.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? I know we've heard DA before on here. We haven't heard Wayne yet, so let's turn this key, man. Let's get this thing underway. Why don't you everybody tell who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do.
All right, so my name's Wayne. Last name's Gadley, I guess if you want that, if it's relevant. But I live in Northwest PA, and I've been here my entire life. I'm a forester by trade, and Bowhunting League guru by night.
Awesome. Absolutely love it. DA, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do, my friend.
So I am DA. I'm actually living in Missouri now. I finally got out of Florida, which makes me very happy. Turns out the rumor is true. There are deer in Missouri. But to be a little bit more relevant, I'm also a masshole. Can I say masshole?
Yeah. Yes, you can say masshole.
I am a Dunkin' Donuts sipping masshole.
It's Starbucks now, though. It's not really a Dunkin' Donuts thing anymore.
I'm true to my core.
Okay.
But I've been a part of the Bowhunting League. I worked with Ben, kind of as like his right-hand man to grow and scale it over the last couple of years. I'm not helping him out on like the work side anymore, but I'm still a true advocate. I'm a contestant, and I'm here to talk about it because I love it.
Absolutely. And Bowhunting League is one of those great things. I mean, as far as like the family atmosphere, I mean, there's some great things on there. I mean, Wayne had told us before he came on that he was just there to meet new people. I mean, what's better than that, honestly?
Which, Wayne, I mean, you got to go to the showdown this last year. How many people did you meet from all over the United States that are some of the nicest, truest to the core, diehard hunters?
Yeah, I think there was 17 guys in camp. So driving from PA to Arkansas was well worth the drive. The year before that, I got invited to the showdown. It was in Florida. I actually qualified for the showdown that year, but that was my son's first birthday, so my wife said no. So last year, I just went sort of to do some filming stuff for the show for the Bowhunting League for the showdown, which I did a little bit. I really haven't put any videos out yet for that, just because I've been busy. But basically, that's why Ben asked me to go, and it was one of the coolest experiences I've had in a long time. Just meeting those guys.
All right, let's rewind it real quick. You guys got ahead of yourselves. Why don't we just talk about what the showdown actually is and how you become part of the showdown and kind of where it comes from? Because we haven't even talked about the Bowhunting League, and we've already jumped all the way to the end of it. So let's rewind it. Let's talk about how you even become part of such a thing.
So if you read Arabic, you actually go backwards. So that's going to be this podcast. We're just going to go backwards from the beginning to the end of the beginning. But okay, so the showdown. This is something that we created, I want to say, in 2020. And what it was is we took the top 10 people from the King of Tines. King of Tines is your big buck killers that travel all throughout the states. Let me rephrase that. Not your big buck killers. It's your buck killers that travel to multiple states a year. Okay? So we take your top 5 bucks, and based off of the combination, the score of your top 5 bucks in all these different states, you place in the King of Tines 1 through 10 or whatever we have. So we invite them all down. We went to Florida, of all places. We tried public land hunting down there. It's just this group of individuals that came down to win some prizes, build camaraderie. It was just so cool because we had people from Iowa. We had people from Connecticut. We've had people from, you see what I did right there? Connecticut. Yes, Connecticut. We've had them from Kentucky, Tennessee, all over. And it's just neat because you get all these people in a room and you start hearing some of the best stories that you could ever imagine. You're talking to some of the greatest people in the world where they're like, hey man, come out, start hunting my farm. Let's do a hunt together. Let's go do crazy things. These are those people that are your ride or dies where if you call them up and you're like, hey Trev, I'm going to be there in 2 hours. Let's go to Maine and go shed hunting. Be like, all right, let's go.
Done.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not here yet? What do you mean?
That's what all these people are. They're just great people. So as we've progressed over the years, we did 2 years in Florida. Last year, I'll let you talk a little bit more about the gig, Wayne, but it was in Arkansas, actually.
Yep. Yeah. So last year we had guys from Canada. They drove 2 days to get to the showdown. And the one guy, he shot like a 220-inch muley or something like that. But his buddy came with him because he didn't want to travel that far by himself. So Ben's like, yeah, bring him down. So, but we had, guys from Kansas. We had, a couple guys killed, like Josh Trollinger was there. Dane Driscoll was there. Those guys killed close to 200-inch deer. It's so cool to just sit down and hang out with guys that kill that caliber of deer, and they're just so humble about it. They'll sit there and have a conversation just like we're having one right now, and you'd never know that they killed that deer until they show you pictures of it.
I think
there's a lot of. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. The two of us are out of control. So this will happen a lot. One of the things I think is really cool about the Bowhunting League is that they are, they're closet killers. And when I say that is that these are guys that have never been heard on a podcast, have never been seen on a YouTube channel, have never been seen on Facebook. They're killing 200-inch deer. I mean, I remember we had what's his dude? Matt Brunswick. How'd you know? So Matt Brunswick, I forgot because I didn't want to drop. I was going to say MB. So Matt had joined us on a podcast, and this dude killed an absolute giant. It was 241 inches, I believe, is what he ended up killing. And he just came out of left field. Like, where did you come from? And then you look at his whole entire trophy room, and you're like, bro, you've been killing 160 pluses every single year for 10 years now. Like, where have you been? And there's just, and Bowhunting League is the closet full of these killers, like literally full of them every time you turn around.
What's neat is you can take the Bowhunting League and call it so many different things. We like to call ourselves a community. Some people call it a brand, but it's also a platform for exactly what you're talking about. People who are not seeking to be in the limelight, or who are just your humble, average, hardworking Joes, but you give them this platform where it's like, okay, Matt Brunswick, oh my goodness, you killed a 252. And then you look at his wall and, like you said, 160, 170, 160, 170. It's like, now this guy is our local legend for Ohio. Mm-hmm. But expand that to every state. Mm-hmm. Everyone is now given this opportunity to kind of just show off in a humble way, share their kills, and what I appreciate the most, because I'm not a big buck killer, I'm what's an appropriate way to put it? I'm a dink killer, and I kill a lot of things. But
no, you're just a killer. You're just a killer, bro.
But you know what it is like, you can come on with your 50-inch 6-point, or I'll go kill a 100-inch buck, or Wayne will kill a 175 in PA, and everyone's getting just as many likes. Everyone's just getting as much, congrats, way to go type stuff. And like, I appreciate that, because we don't have that much anymore throughout other groups.
And what's funny is, like my career in the outdoor realm had started with forums. It was a bow hunting forum is where I started and cut my teeth. And that was like the end-all be-all of the time. And Bowhunting League reminds me of that, because the nonsense and the bullshit is cut right off the top. Like, you're not going to deal with, with guys like Wayne and yourself moderating it. You're not going to have the negativity that is brought upon one another, which I think is very important, because, like, you then build a community where the guys that are killing 200-inch, 180-inch deer are then communicating with the guys that are shooting 100, 110-inch deer, and then now they're putting themselves in that caliber. If you want to kill big deer, you have to surround yourself with big deer killers. I mean, that's just the way that it works, and you're then getting that information, you're making yourself better, you're then thinking about it. So when you put them into a community of big buck killers, then they're able to spread their wings and learn from these guys and then become big buck killers. And you're not able to do that in most groups on Facebook or whatever, because then they're looked down upon in a negative manner. And I think that that's where Bowhunting League shines, because like I said, the bullshit's cut off the top, and these guys are able to do what they need to do to become big buck killers if that's what they want to do and get out of it. But you don't really need to be a big buck killer. You can be a dink killer like the rest of us, and you're going to be just fine.
No, I agree. And to your point, too, like, if anyone was ever interested in just seeing what we were all about, let's say you're not into contests, which we should probably rewind a little bit more at some point for the people who are like, what is going on here? What is the
Arabic?
It's Arabic, bro. It's Arabic.
We're almost there. But we do a really good job of providing like a safe place. And I don't mean like...
You getting woke on us?
No woke. But like the garbage trolls, and the people who have egos, we don't actually have a lot of people with egos last because they're instantly humbled by a lot of other people. So like, we have a lot of people who are like, I'm the guy, I'm the boss. We brought them down to Florida and none of us killed anything. Take these bosses up to the North Main woods and have them be the boss out there. You know what I mean? We just don't have time for people trash talking each other or pumping their chest like, cool, we're excited if you kill a lot of deer, but like we're not going to let you go against a different demographic, a different region, a different whatever it may be. Come as you are. We appreciate everyone. It's a bow hunter.
And it's funny that you say that too, because like Western PA or up here in the Northeast, like Western PA, high population of hunters, right? Like you're working against everybody, and it makes hunting very hard on public land. Then come do that up here in the Northeast, and you're going to have the same thing, but you're also going to be humbled by big woods, where you're not going to be able to get on those deer that you think you're going to be able to get onto, and it's going to take you a lot longer. And we say it all the time. If you take someone from the Northeast and put them in the Midwest, they're going to hunt a little bit harder, and they're going to have a little bit more insight on how to kill a deer in those areas. But if you take someone from the Midwest and you put them in the Northeast, Western PA, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, they're going to have a really hard time because their way of hunting is not the way, because you're not going to be able to look for transition lines. You're not going to be able, there's a lot of shit that's going to be a lot tougher to hunt up here than it is down there. So you can humble somebody by doing that 100%.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% correct with that. I have some first-hand experience with that because where I'm from in PA, I basically grew up hunting public because that's what we had, and nobody owned land because it's all government land, so you can't really buy land. But that's just what I had. Like, so for me, public versus private, I never knew a difference growing up. That's just what we had.
Right.
But I started going to Ohio like 10 years ago. And it was like, this is so easy. It's like the deer can't be here. The deer can't be there. They have to be in this patch of woods, and it was like you're 50 yards behind someone's house and you're watching 150-inch deer walk by, and you're just like, but it just blew your mind because it's like, it's just a different world. And it's like, so I'm not going to say that big woods hunting's a lot harder. It's, if you know what you're doing, it can be easy, but like hunting big woods first, then going to ag is easy.
I'm going to have to agree with you there, too, because I did the same thing coming from Connecticut, hunting Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, stuff like that. Like big woods, tough, mountain laurel, right. Hard hunting stuff. And then going to Ohio and hunting Ohio, and then you get in some of these ag cuts that are maybe 1,000 yards wide, and you're like, the deer, if they're going to get to the food, they have to come through here. Like, they don't have an option. Like you see them in those fields, and you're like, okay, they got to come here. Like, it's very, I'm not going to say that it's easier. It's just, it's a different way of thinking, I guess, right? I mean, like, it's not, but you already have that mindset by hunting these harder areas to hunt, right? Like, I guess I don't want to down talk the Midwesterners, but I kind of do. No, just kidding. No.
Like sometimes in big fields, like you can still see deer you can't shoot, obviously, and they're still hard to get close to you, especially with a bow. But like how I look at it is the woods are the funnels,
right?
So the funnels are already like, hey, there they are. Like whereas in the big woods, everything's woods. So it's like, where's the funnel at? It's going to be a topography or something like that more than just, hey, this is open. This is, wooded, right. Sort of thing,
Speaking of big woods and Midwest hunting and all that, what's the Bowhunting League, Wayne?
The Bowhunting League is a 100% free contest. Pretty cool.
Tell me about this contest.
Tell us about. All right. So yeah, you should sign up for it. No, it's teams of 3. You don't have to know the people. They can be random. They can be from any state. It doesn't have to be. When the first year I did it, I thought everyone had to be from the same state. That was a mistake a lot of people make. And if you join the league, you can win a bunch of free prizes. There's state-specific prizes. I know like Pennsylvania the biggest buck in PA, you get a bow. And I think there's 9 states now that we have bow sponsors for.
Yep. For this crowd specifically, I want you to hear that PA, you can win a bow.
Yep.
Who's giving away that bow, Wayne?
That would be my wife, Route 66 Sporting Goods.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then for all you massholes, my fellow brethren and bretherettes, Reedy's is giving away a bow to the top buck this year, which is interesting because I want to say that the top buck last year was 98 inches. So if you're from Massachusetts and you think you have a shot at beating that, you better sign up.
Is there other New England states that are giving away prizes like that have jumped on? Because I thought I saw some more for our area too.
So I want to say that the other one that I saw was New York. I'll get you that answer as we navigate through this. But like realistically, if you're a hunter, at the end of the day, bow hunter, bow only, vertical bows. Unfortunately, we love everyone. We love all hunting. But this is for bow hunters only, no crossbows. There's no reason not to sign up. This whole community, this platform, whatever you want to dub it as, is just here to purely celebrate you and your season. So you shoot a deer like you do every season. You add it to the contest, and who knows, you might win a cool prize. We understand that not everyone is a trophy hunter. There's meat hunters. There's doe slayers. There's all these different umbrellas of people, and that's okay. We've got contests for everyone. At the end of the day, the main platform is based off of the biggest team killing the biggest bucks and the top bucks, but everything else comes under something else because we want people to want to come in. We don't want them to be like, I don't know, I'm from Massachusetts and I only kill, 7 pointers.
But there's a doe contest too.
Correct.
Yeah. So you want to talk about it? You want me to get it, Wayne?
I'll hit it a little bit here. I was going to say something else too. That I know last year, just for entering a buck into the contest, you got entered to win a Matthews flagship bow last year. So you could have shot a spike and you could have won a free Matthews bow. So there's stuff like that we're trying to do to get people to enter the contest. You don't have to be the top of the top to compete. Just have fun with it. But yeah, last year they used to do the big fat doe contest, and that's sort of tough to it's easier for people to cheat, and then like scales, every scale is going to be different. So we sort of went away from that. Last year we did the King of Queens. So basically there was a North region and there's a South region. And the reason we split it up is because like some states like Tennessee, I think you can shoot 3 does a day every day of season, which is like you can shoot 200 like some deer in a season. Versus the North, there's not a lot of states that have deer like that. But basically I'm not sure how many teams was it top 5?
The top 5 teams, top 5 for each region, and back to you.
Because I know they gave away saddles last year, and I think they had bows last year. So the prizes for just killing does was almost as good as what the main contest was. I know Cody does a really good job with that. Cody Mang's the one that he sort of handles all that. He does a good job. But yeah, so if you just like killing does, and this year we have is a team doe contest too. So like last year, Justin Miller killed like 20 does by himself. So if you have him on your team, you're probably going to win. But if you each kill 5 deer and kill a collective 15 does, you have a chance of competing just in that contest in itself.
Yep. Some people don't want to kill bucks or they don't have the opportunity to kill as many. So
right.
You could build a doe only team and still have a chance to win plenty of prizes.
I feel bad for the doe population around me.
We could have hurting on them, I assure you. But again, the goal is to give everyone an opportunity. Like, you want people to come here because, again, it's growing our voice, bow hunters, positivity, all that good stuff. But again, a lot of people get put off when they hear contests because they're like, how can I compete with someone from Iowa when I'm from Rhode Island?
Right.
So again, I don't think we have anyone. So we've got PA, we've got Massachusetts. If you have anyone from Virginia, we've got there too. But speaking of Cody Mag, the guy who's just absolutely crushing it with this doe contest, we call him the Prince of Pro Shops. if you want your state to have a bow for the top buck, reach out to Cody Mag on the page, give him a couple of your local archery shops, or go in and grease the wheels for him, because he will sell them quick on why they should do this.
Well, some of the other states that you guys have will give away taxidermy too for the biggest buck.
So interesting thing, and I love talking about transitions and flexing throughout growth. You guys have probably done it over the years. You have to grow and adapt to get bigger. So we stopped doing taxidermy for each state.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
We found that it was kind of hard with some of the taxidermists, because when we would tell them about the opportunity, we would promote them all year. They'd get all this advertising, and then they would not commit. Whoa. So we just found that it wasn't very credible. There were some phenomenal people. Don't let me confuse you. Taxidermists are wonderful people, but we probably had a 75% honor rate. So for those 25% of the people that didn't get it honored, it's just tough to deal with. Mm-hmm. So it adds a lot of chaos. So that's why we got away from that. We're trying to do just pro shops and a bow. It's all set in stone. It's way easier. And then really the other thing too, and you know, this is not to discredit anyone, but like sometimes new taxidermists might have wanted to raise their hand, like, yeah, I'll do it. But this person that won this might be the first taxidermist mount they've ever done.
Right.
And if you just shot a 170-inch buck, maybe that's not who you want to use. I'm just, again,
yeah,
of
course.
But a bow is a bow is a bow is a bow,
right.
And it's free. So again, that was one of our shifts to make it a little bit easier and to maintain credibility. Because at the end, go ahead.
No, now that we're talking about credibility, I want to talk about credibility on this whole contest, because one of the things with it, and some people may be saying, well, they could be listening to this and say, well, what makes it credible that number one deer was really the biggest deer of that state, or whatever the case may be? What are some of the steps that you guys have progressively grown and changed now going forward?
Do you want to cover this, Wayne, or you want me to?
Yeah, I can hit it a little bit. I'm not the best on this, but if I miss something, let me know.
DA's just trying to get out of it.
Since DA is just an advocate for the league now, he's not a member. Well, he's a member, but he's not, he's not as involved as he used to be.
Here, Wayne.
Yeah. But anywho, yeah, so what we're talking about, the short-term memory loss here.
No, so
credibility.
Credibility, okay. No, wait.
No, okay, so check this out. So, Chad, to go with what you're saying, like when we first started off, people would send in pictures and their scores, and that was it. Go ahead, Wayne. You're back.
Yeah, you got me back on track there. Okay, sorry, I lost. Okay, so what we started doing last year was the top 10 teams in the contest have to have their deer officially scored. So that's technically 30 deer that have to be scored officially. And I think if you're top state the top in your state, you have to have your deer officially scored as well. This year, correct? Because we're not gonna we don't want to give a bow to somebody that faked their score, if that makes sense. You're just trying to keep the contest as fair as possible. But sort of the ironic part last year was more people gained inches than lost inches. So people were actually underscoring their deer instead of overscoring their deer, which is the exact opposite of what you think would have happened.
I'm not afraid to shy away from tough subjects too. Part of the reason we're changing the top bucks for each state is because of there might have been a couple bucks last year that were entered where you could kind of see like maybe it wasn't the biggest buck, like Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. But again, it's that reason. We owe it to people to always be credible, and we will admit when we're wrong, and we'll make something to get there better. We'll never be perfect. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect, but we will get as close as we can to make sure that type of stuff never happens again.
And we do have, if you shoot a buck over 130, you need the largest mass measurement in the longest time. You send pictures to, and we have guys in the league that they only do scoring. All they do is they look at pictures of deer to confirm, yeah, that's a 120 or 140. If they see a picture and you're like, I'm not sure about that, they'll reach out to the guy and they'll say, hey, send some pictures. We want to clarify, whatever. So if you shoot a deer less than 130, probably is not going to be relevant unless you're maybe in Connecticut and it wins the state. But for the most part, we're trying to focus on people that are shooting 140s and calling 160s.
Yep. And a lot of it comes down to education too, which again is kind of cool because of the platform. Like some people have never scored a deer in their life.
They just don't know.
Right.
And that's okay because you've got people who are ready to help you out. We've got how-to videos. And then again, when you send those in and you've got that picture of your longest, time with a tape measure next to it, you can really tell that person like, hey, you notice how that you started mid main beam? You actually have to, continue an invisible line right here up at the end of the tine and measure there. So like, again, 95% of the people are cool with that because they're learning and they know that it helps get the best score. The other 5%, that's okay. We're not perfect, but we're getting there.
And I think it's a great thing, honestly. And there's checks and balances in it, and the other thing too is where there is no argument to be had on a free competition. Like, like it's free. You just join up with your buddies. You go on to bowhuntingleague.com. You sign up, and you're already in. But, and then you guys have your checks and balances, and progressively, year after year, you keep those things in check, and you just grow from it. And I think it's a great thing. Like, you can't get upset that the guy won next to you on something that you didn't even put any money into. Like it's just a competition. It's fun. It's just bragging rights more or less with a little bit of bonus to it.
The other cool thing too is like I really enjoy content and I love watching archery bucks fall. If you don't want to participate but you love watching people's success, come end August when Tennessee Velvet starts through February all the way through like the Florida rut, we have people dropping bucks and it's a great time just to see, again, everyone out there just absolutely crushing it.
And not even, you made a valid point, honestly, DA, is watching these guys kill deer, but then starting to understand where the rut is in certain regions of the country. And then you can kind of correlate that to your hunting season. Like, okay, these guys are seeing bucks chasing. Like, all right, it's about to come to our area, or it already is in our area, or it's already over. You know what I'm saying? And like, just kind of using that to its own scale, and it's kind of fun. It really is to watch. And the deer, the size of the deer that these guys kill, and you're like, yep. Where did these, like, going back to what I said, where did these dudes come from? Like, and they're doing it year after year after year. That's the crazy part to me, honestly.
The thing that I like, when you talk about the showdown, you think of like hunting camp. You know what I mean? Like you're just around with all your buddies having a good time. With sharing the content, like I've never met Wayne a day in my life. This is probably the first time we've even seen each other in a video. But when he kills a buck and he turns on that live, or someone from the league turns on that live feed and they're tracking the deer and they come up and they find it and you hear the emotions, like the unscripted, non-influencer posed garbage. You've got this pure emotion and that everyone on that live is just cheering them on, getting the goosebumps. I'm getting the goosebumps just talking about it because I'm ready to hunt. But like, that's the stuff I love. It's so wholesome and fun and real and raw.
And then the brotherhood that comes behind all of it. The congratulations. They're genuine congratulations when you post up pictures. And, like the guys, even the shit talking that goes on from team to team. Like, you post up the pictures of the team and everybody's kind of hooting and hollering and like, oh, congratulate, like, or good luck or whatever. I think that camaraderie aspect of it is awesome because we're all like-minded people in a like-minded area. I think it's really cool, honestly. I like it a lot.
Yep.
Well, so go ahead.
I was gonna say that what got me into the league was I was in a Snapchat group with Ben. Just super random. I was in a Snapchat group that Ben was in. So that's how I started talking to Ben. I was actually already in the Bowhunting League before that. But this is how I got my connection with Ben. And the first 3 years, I've been in the league 3 years now. and I've never had a teammate submit a deer ever. So this year, I want my teammates to submit a deer. That's my whole goal this year. But I still so I started talking to Ben, and one year Ben's like, dude, come out to Indiana, like come hunt. He's like, stay at my house. He's like, I got a ton of public around my house. He's like, send me some pins. He's like, what you think's good. So I sent him a pin on Onyx Hunt. He's like, yeah, that looks pretty good. So went in. The first night I hunted, I drove from Pennsylvania to Indiana. Didn't even go to his house. Just went straight to the woods. And I had a 10-point at like 25 yards. Just couldn't get a shot at it. So so Ben hadn't shot a deer at all that year, and he was having a pretty rough year. So we talked for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Went to bed, woke up at 4:30, whatever it was. Went back out, and I shot a buck the next morning. It's like the 6th buck I saw that I shot. And then Ben, he actually was tracking a deer that he had hit the night before. And I'm like, well, I'm done here. I don't know. I'm tagged out. So I literally saw Ben for an hour and a half, drove to Indiana, saw him for an hour and a half. Then I went to Ohio and hunted Ohio on the way home, but that's what, to me, the league is all about, is meeting those people, getting those connections. Last year I hunted Kentucky for velvet because of the Bowhunting League. I hunted, Arkansas last year because of the Bowhunting League. I hunted New York one year because of the Bowhunting League. So that's the reason I joined it, was just to meet guys and, make connections. And, this year, actually, I was going to hunt Kansas. And unfortunately, I did not draw a Kansas tag. So next year, but
they changed that, right? Kansas got changed to now it's a preference point or a draw now.
It's a draw.
It's always been the draw, and they had preference points. But what hurt this year is people didn't have to put the money up front. You can apply, and then if you drew, you pay. So I hate to say it, but some people can't put up $400 or $500 and let it sit there for a month or two. But now, because they didn't have to do that, there was a record number of applications. It seems to be the common theme for most states these years. The record number of applications are going up like crazy.
Which is good. It's good that there's more people traveling and going to different states and doing different things, for sure. That's really good to hear.
Yeah, I think the league definitely promotes that and mentors people on how to do that. We have some people who are ridiculous who hunt 5 or 7 different states a year, but there are the other people, trying their first, second, third out of state hunt, but they do that because what they see on the league. And what's even better is it's a full circle thing. So I'm all about how small the world really is. Okay, so Trev, I met you. Mm-hmm. We both know this dude named Cody, and it's we all met each other from the league. You guys already knew him, but he's going to come hunt with me in Missouri this year. He used to just strictly hunt Connecticut. Then one year he just goes out on this little rampage and ends up down at the showdown. I just love those little stories.
That was my fault.
Did you do that?
I'm the one that got talked him into being on my team that year.
Good. You started the fire.
Yeah.
It's crazy that though, because you see it I went on a whim to Ohio with a buddy of mine, and had invited us down, listener of the podcast. And so I went to Ohio. Then the next year there was 4 or 5 people that were friends of mine that listened to the podcast. Now they're going to Ohio. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a trickle effect, because it just shows, and that's one of the good things about the Bowhunting League, because it's on a bigger scale, but of hardcore guys that travel hunt, but it just shows that the average guy can go and do those things, that it's not a far-fetched thing, because everybody thinks oh man, it's so hard to go to Indiana, oh it's so hard to go to Kentucky, oh it's so hard to go to Kansas. In all reality, it's just getting in the car and buying a tag. I mean, it's not hard at all. I mean, it's a couple $100, but it's cheaper to go and do those hunts, and especially through the Bowhunting League, if you meet a friend that's in a certain state and just, hey dude, can I crash in your driveway for a couple of days, whatever the case may be. I mean, it's one of those great things. And it's funny because a lot of the communities, like the fishing community as one, and it's more or less what I relate to, right? But I used to be a huge competition carp fisherman, and one of the things in it, and I don't do it anymore because I'm not into it. I'd rather shoot him in the face. But anyway, so the whole thing is that carp fishing, the carp fishing community is like the Bowhunting League, where you would meet all of these guys and be like, hey, man, I'm going to be in Indiana. Can I swing through, man? Like, is there a place that we can go fish together? So, like, I would go to Indiana and I'd carp fish there, and vice versa. Guys would come to Connecticut and they'd come up and carp fish with us, and we'd sit on the bank, and these guys would come from all over. And it's the same with Bowhunting League, because you can do the same exact thing and meet those people like Wayne does, and goes and hangs out with these guys from different states.
Yep. I don't want to take it too far off track because I'm going to try to stay relevant on the deer contest. But like for all you New England hunters, one thing that you will absolutely destroy people on in the Bowhunting League is when we do our turkey contest, because we do have a turkey contest, and it's 20-member teams, which I know that sounds unrealistic, but like you can scrape together 20 people, or you come on the page and find more. But like, gosh, I go home and there's just flocks of turkeys in every neighborhood and every square, and it's like y'all will absolutely hammer some monsters. And just come. I would love to see like a team of New Englanders just come in and stomp all these other people from Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be
DA,
cool.
it's so tough, man. I'm sorry, but turkeys were made to be shot in the face. I mean, it's just the way it is. I'm sorry.
No, that's why you. If you're in a two turkey state, blast one in the face, and then do the other one with a bow.
I'm in a 5 turkey state, and every single one of them needs TSS to the mouth. I mean, I'm sorry.
That's fair. No, that's fine. I had to do the plug.
I know.
Because,
No, but you're totally right. Like New England in its own as far as turkey hunting, and I'll relate it back to our group of guys who are in New England. Between the 4 of us, we killed 28 birds by the end of the season. Between the 4 of us, I mean the 5 of us. But it's the turkey hunting is phenomenal in the Northeast. How do you guys run the turkey competition? Like, do you do beard and spur, weight? Like, what is the formula that you guys use?
Go ahead, Wayne.
It's beard and spur, and then it's the longest spur, I think, times 2. Yep. So if you shoot one bird, and then if you shoot a Jake, I think you still get a 1/4 inch minimum or something like that. So if you shoot something just a little nub on it, you still get a 1/2 inch for your spur length.
Yes.
But the guys that crush it, the guys that kill those triple beards, quad beards, stuff like that, they add up really, really fast. And they have 4 or 5 beards on their, they get 30 inches in beard length, and then they get, the spur length isn't as critical, but double bearded birds, triple bearded birds, and stuff like that, those are the guys that kill it in contests.
Yeah, we've seen over the years, like, because longest spur times 2 plus beard. You start getting like in that scoring capacity some mid-high 20 birds. Everyone on your team, which is everywhere in New England, just go run around. You'll find it. Like, y'all could do some stomping. It's pretty cool. And again, the reason I brought this up too is to tie this back to the deer. Is okay. So I said 20 people. Imagine you don't know anyone. You get on the league. You sign up on a team, and you've got people from all over the United States. What if you're in an area that has 5 turkeys that you can shoot, and you're talking to someone who can shoot 1 out in, I'm going to make this up, Kansas? Well, you might be like, yo, man, like, come on out here. I'm going to take you striper fishing and to kill some turkeys because I got them everywhere. But then next thing you know, you got an invite to Kansas and a private farm that's been well-groomed for you. Like, it just builds that opportunity to make connections and explore new opportunities.
There's nothing better than that. I'll take you out striper fishing and shoot turkeys if you want to do so. You're more than welcome.
I'm already there.
I think he was actually dropping that bomb. I think that's what he was trying to do.
It's Inception. I'm just making you think it's your idea.
Oh. Typical.
But yeah, no, again, so like, not to overcomplicate anything,
right.
Like, the Bowhunting League is free. It's always going to be free. So if you're going to do some hunting, why not sign up? Because if you end up shooting something exceptional, or you and your 3 buddies have a banner year, you could win some prizes. I want to say that for the last 3 years, we haven't been under $50,000 in prizes. We are giving away a lot this year, and it continues to grow every single day.
So how many inches of antlers were shot last year, just to give them a kind of a or a roundabout? You don't have to be exact, but
I think it was 98,000 something and some change. It's just shy of 100,000.
Yep.
And I think the average was like 130 ish.
Yep. So it's very interesting because each year consistently for at least, let's just use the last 3 years, every average ends up around 130 inches. Where if you think about that, with us talking to, a bunch of New Englanders or PA or down in that region, like that's kind of wild. But that just shows you how many bucks that are either killed throughout the United States that are bigger, or it's those people shooting the 200s, 220s, and stuff like that that really bring the average up. But we're gonna break 100,000 inches this year. It's gonna happen. If it doesn't, I will run headfirst into a brick wall. Like this has been the dream.
Write that down.
Easy what you say on a podcast, bro, because most of that stuff normally comes true. So you better be careful. Like when we put out a bet, like, oh, you're getting a tattoo if you don't shoot a 120. These things happen, so you better be careful, DA.
I'll go shoot $40 if I have to prevent that from happening.
DA, number one wanted criminal in Missouri.
Just make sure your bow's in the picture with all of them, or they don't count.
Exactly. So interesting enough, and I want to come back to the credibility piece with something that you just said, Trev. Like, we've had outlaws. Anyone could cheat. They could shoot it with a gun and put a bow on it. But what's been so interesting is because the sheer size of the league, and with how small of a world it really is, we've had people enter a buck with a bow on top that they killed with the bow. And then next thing we know, 4 or 5 people are reaching out and they're like, hey, this guy shot it with a rifle. Here's pictures with him and the rifle. Like, it's a self-policing community, which is really
awesome.
I can't tell you how many times people have been outed. We're actually dealing with it right now with a taxidermist thing. Anyways, we'll come back to that. But people, because again, we're trying to maintain a credible image. So when they see this, they'll reach out. We start our vetting process and we get through it. But at the end of the day, that's so cool because that helps maintain the integrity of the whole thing. We've had people try to Photoshop bows. Wayne is really good at editing and stuff like that, but like you can't get it past some of these eyes. We're really good at picking up when someone's dropping a bow on top of a buck with a Photoshop. Oh, it's crazy. I could tell you stories about some silly things that we've had to deal with before.
Yeah, we had a guy I was the team the year I was a turkey captain the one year. And we were like dead last. I think we had killed 1 or 2 birds, so we weren't doing very good. But it was just something fun to do. But he's actually a close friend of mine. I know him in person. He photoshopped his bow, and he photoshopped him behind a turkey that his cousin shot the year before, and sent it to me. And like I didn't even look at it. I'm like, oh, cool! Look at we shot another bird. We're up to 3. We might be in second to last place now. And for the turkey contest, you don't really win anything. It's just bragging rights, basically. I think you might get a medal or something like that. So he got banned from the Bowhunting League for submitting a picture. And he lied to me about it. I asked him, like, was that a joke? And he's like, no, I shot it. When I get home, I'll send pictures of the beard and all this stuff. Like, he never even shot the bird. Like, I found everything on Facebook. I found the photo from the year prior. I found the, you can put the 3 photos together and see how he made the photo on Photoshop. And like to this day, he still lies about it. And like, but it's a free contest. Why? And especially the turkey contest, just blows my mind. So he's banned for life. And of course, Ben made me ban him. He's like, you got to do it. So,
it's good though because it keeps that checks and balances when and if they fuck up, they're not allowed to be part of this thing ever again. Like that's important. I think that's the credibility part of it, where like you mess around and find out because like you don't belong and you're not wanted if you're gonna play those games.
Yeah, we're pretty serious when it comes to cheating. It's pretty much a first time offense and you're done, kaput. There's not a shake a stick at you and slap you on the wrist. You're pretty much just out. So
it goes deeper too. Like we've had to ban people from the league because they did get charges from DNR. And I'm serious from that. Like, and again, it comes to that self-policing. someone will be like, hey, just so you know, Johnny over here has 6 tickets for trespassing. One of those bucks is one of them. Here's the information. We pull it up. We can talk to DNR. Sure enough, Johnny was lying. Gone.
So it's a full-time job to be a moderator for this whole thing. Like, that's no joke, dude.
There's a lot of volunteers behind the scenes. There has been for years. And yeah, there's a lot, because just when you think it's going to be a normal day, it'll be that. It'll be like, hey, you know, your person who's in first for blah, blah, blah. Well, they shot those 3 on a farm. Or on a high fence farm. This never happened, but I'm making it up. Here's the pictures. Here's the farm they were at. Here's the video of them. And it's like, but we don't hide it. We let people know immediately. That's the big thing that I feel is important too, transparency. Like, hey, y'all, a team has been let go for cheating. We don't have to blast names. We don't have to tear them apart.
Right.
But it's important so people always can have that, again, trust and credibility.
So it has to be shot with a bow, and it has to be free range.
Yep.
That's
so no
what I've
high,
gathered of it.
Yeah, no high fence. It's hard to say no low fence because there's a lot of low fence opportunities throughout the U.S. And like a low fence doesn't mean much these days anymore. Like the deer can leave and come all you want, but yeah, no high fence. You're allowed to have an outfitter buck. We try really hard to keep it for your working class, average Joe people, because you know what? Some people might live in Maine. I love Maine. I'm just going to use Maine as an example. And they don't have property. They don't have time to go scout public. They work their butt off, but they can save a couple $1,000s and go hunt Kentucky every year at an outfitter. Why should I penalize them? They're just as excited about bow hunting. It's still hunting at the end of the day. Just because you're going to an outfitter doesn't mean you've got a solid in your pocket. Mm-hmm. We allow one outfitter buck to be put towards your score.
Oh, so there is a limit on it. So you can't go and do 10 outfitter hunts.
So the only place that it really holds the most weight is for King of Tines. Again, we take your top 5 bucks, add it up, and that gives you your King of Tines score. We can't have someone who can run around to 5 to 10 different outfitters and have those bucks. So we limit to one outfitter buck for the King of Tines.
Where is the checks and balances in that, though? That's just an honor system?
So it is. So when you enter your bucks these days on the website, which I'll let Wayne maybe talk about the website here soon if you want to, but like we're automated now. It used to be you email your stuff in. We've got a website that's phenomenal. There's some people who've been doing work on it, but you're answering questions. Was this public or private? Was it an outfitter? Was it self-filmed? It's to extract data because like it's relevant to some of the contests. Like we have, top film buck, top public buck, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, it's an honor system, but again, it comes down to that. Don't be the person who gets caught because there's a lot of eyes on this.
Well,
yeah, I know there's.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I know this year too. I think Ben's asking questions like on the website, like what bow you use. So we're trying to get all this information, like what brand bow is killing the most deer. What like all. So we're just trying to collect information that nobody else is collecting, essentially. But all I was going to say real quick is that technically the Bowhunting League, we have our own Facebook, or we have Facebook, which we use as a platform to reach people. But we're actually a website now, and the contest is ran through a website. So we're not a Facebook ran contest anymore. We're sort of our own thing. We just use Facebook as a way to share pictures, reach out to people. And but so if Facebook shuts down tomorrow for some reason, we can still keep the contest going.
That's important.
We don't have to rely on it.
Well, why don't you, Wayne, break it down for us, man? Like, how do we go about signing up for it? How do we get in on this? What do we do? So on and so forth.
All right. So the first step is to find 2 other guys. So you have a 3-man team. Like I said, they can be guys they can be completely random guys. So if you don't know 2 other guys that want to join the contest with you, if you go on our Facebook page, which is Bowhunting League, we have a thread. It's pinned at the top of the page. You can click on that, and there's all people just looking for teams. What I would highly recommend joining with random people, not people because I think that's a good way of meeting new people, making new friends. I'm not saying you can't enter
like a random threesome swinger group. That just the greatest thing ever.
Just random threesome.
All right.
So just go on. Like I said, if you go on like our Facebook page, there's a thread that has people looking for teams. You can search, look down through it. Maybe they got that guy. There's a guy from Kansas. He piques your interest because he's from Kansas. Shoot him a message like, "Hey, I'm looking for a team too," and he might say yeah. But I wouldn't be too picky with people. Just try to make sure whoever you pick on your team is going to be, they're going to talk to you. And like a lot of guys in the past, what I've ran into is they'll pick up a team and they'll talk throughout the summer, velvet photos, and then they'll hunt for a week and then they just quit hunting. And like, I would try to be picky with people that are going to hunt. That's my biggest thing is like, I tell people that all the time, like pick random people, make friends. And I think it makes the contest that much better, So
there's an energy off of that. Like Wayne and I could share pictures of dinks every single day and be like, yeah,
which might happen.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's one of those, like, we can feed into each other and get each other motivated. Like, I'm 51 days out for my first season, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, I sat today, here's a picture. Get someone who's going to motivate you, energize you, and help share that passion.
Right. And this year, I'm with the guy from Kansas and the guy from Iowa. So if they both kill good deer, I have to kill something. So
Wayne's going to become an outlaw because both of his partners just killed 180s.
No.
Missouri, you can come shoot one of my dinks.
I had enough between PA, Ohio, and Indiana. I think I have a good chance of killing a pretty good deer.
You're good.
But that's like I said, we use Facebook as just a platform to reach people. But the other thing that I would recommend, if you're not sure about the contest, come on, join our Facebook. Like, it's free to join, but you don't have to join the contest. Just join the page. If you join the page and just hang out for a year on the page, the next year you're going to be in the contest. Guarantee it.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, even being on the page, but even if you don't want to be in the deer hunting competition, that's one of the other things, is that there's the shoot-off with the shooting, the target shooting and all that. What's the name of that? I'm sorry.
That's the one shot.
The one shot. There you go. The one shot. I mean, that's a super cool thing to do. The kids, the wives, everybody can get involved in that. Like, that's just a cool, badass thing to do in the off season. There's just so many opportunities for great friendships and surround yourself with big buck killers and outdoorsmen and hunters. Like, what's better than that? I mean, like, like you go to a family party or your girlfriend or wife makes you go to a family party and you got to go and you got to hang out with all these people that don't hunt or fish and you have nothing to say to them. This is your opportunity to be surrounded by great like-minded outdoorsmen. Like, why would you, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like an infomercial at this point because it's just
good.
Right. Good. I think me and DA I think are similar. I don't have a lot of personal close friends that live close to me. I'm not a big people person. Of course, I spend my time in the woods as a forester, so I'm by myself every day. But having people on the internet that I can reach out to, it sort of fills that gap without actually being with people. If that makes any sense at all. It's super weird.
I want you to underline that and bold it with exclamation point. I hate people.
Right. I'm the same way. I'm
an introvert by trade, and I don't want to talk to anyone. But you give me a phone, and I can text you about hunting and all that stuff. Game on.
See, that's the problem with the new generation right there, DA. This is the problem. Is like, we talk about this all the time. It's okay because everybody hides behind their phone. Like, no, just kidding. You are the start of the problem, DA.
No, I'm just we do the showdown.
Yeah.
I say I'm an introvert and hate people. I hate people, but I love meeting people. I love building relationships. Mm-hmm. I love we are also the people who, where if someone needed help, you've got this platform now where someone can be like, hey Wayne, like I'm in PA, I'm right down the street. Can you teach me how to like do this? Will you come look at my property? And I guarantee you he'll be there and taking care of you. So it's very cool. But sign up on the website. And then as you progress through the season, when you kill your deer, you're going to upload pictures, stats, and everything on the website. A couple of quick tidbits, nothing crazy, because the rules are posted on the page. But if you shoot a deer has to be posted within 10 days. The deer also has to be recovered within 48 hours. There's methods behind this madness, which we could go into another time, but like we've got rules in place. So it's if you're going to sign up, read the rules. There's nothing. Go ahead.
What is the website?
So the website is bowhuntingleague.com.
Okay.
Real simple.
I just didn't want to forget that.
I forgot to mention that earlier.
I think I said it, but
right, which is the same as our Facebook. We're on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I don't handle any of that stuff. There's people that we have that are social media people that take care of the Instagram. I don't think we're on TikTok. I don't think.
Yeah, they're starting it, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't do TikTok.
It's very liberal, very.
I'll start dancing when I shoot my deer because I guess it's all about dancing.
The problem with TikTok is that it's very left-wing liberal, like granola crunching. If you post a deer on there, they'll delete it instantly. So it doesn't work for us.
A gun or a bow, I think they delete stuff too. They're really strict on stuff. Yeah,
instantly. Yep. Well, I think. Oh, sorry.
All I was going to say too is we're trying to use YouTube as a platform as well. Which is said isn't necessarily the best right now, but just like we're trying to basically people that are in the league, if they have a YouTube channel or something like that, we're trying to help promote them. So if they send us content, we'll put it out to help to try to get their name out there too. So we do stuff like that. Just kind of everything we're doing on YouTube was trying to do raw, like we're not fans of music. It's trying to be like, this is the hunt. This is like quick, like. We're not making stories. We're not doing, like a cinematic hour-long video about hunts. We're trying to keep it simple, keep it real, and just, like that's what the Bowhunting League, is, and that's what we're trying to convey.
Raw, real, and no bullshit. That's just the way we like it.
Yep.
And the best threesome you can find. It's just the way it goes. Sorry.
A random threesome. Yep.
Is there anything that we forgot about Bowhunting League or the competition that you think we might want to circle back on? Because I know it was in Arabic, backwards, so on and so forth. Yeah. So
it's free.
It's free. I think Wayne's been nailing the main points. It's free. Come over and just join the page, the Facebook group, and like you don't even have to play. I guarantee you within a year you're going to want to sign up because again, like. You'll feel the community. You'll feel the fun. You'll shoot a 190 and be like, "Crap! I could have won an e-bike if I would have signed up." Like it gets you going. And again, my favorite thing too is like, if you ever watch sign up season, people are posting team collages, and it's everyone using like their biggest buck ever. They don't really stay relevant, so you're gonna see these teams like, "Look at us! We're gonna beat you all," and it's funny because. It's like their buck from like 2009, another guy's from 2011, 2012, whatever. Like I'm gonna be that New England person who's gonna come in and be like, I'm gonna go beat these goons. Like just I don't know, it adds a little flavor to it. Like
Steve, I think DA just called us out on our collage, bro.
My buck was from last year, bro.
Mine was
that's good.
Mine was too.
Wasn't it? I think last year was 161. Just over 161 was the average for the team that won the contest, I believe.
Yeah. But there has been years recently where like it was like close to like 150 something. So again, I know it sounds unrealistic, but like you can have really solid years or you could have dog crap years. And the other thing too, which is kind of cool, and again where you can kind of get a little bragging to yourself. Last year there was 1,253 teams. Maybe not even 10% of those teams shot 3 bucks. So, like, again, a little bragging point is you could come in from New England, you and your 2 buddies, if you wanted to keep it local, kill 3 bucks, and you might be in the top 100, which, speaking of, Ben has promoted it. We're doing top 100 this year. It might not be the most lavish prize when you get down to the end, but top 100 teams are getting prizes. So, like, if you guys shoot 3 6-pointers, well, guess what? You still might make it in the top 10, and it's cool. Again, you like, guess what, guys? We just beat out, the United States of America because we came in top 100 of 1,200 teams. I don't know.
I love it.
I think the other thing that to not be overlooked, and we touched on it, but just as a reminder, if you're from a state that's not known for big bucks, there's always the chance to win that state. So you could shoot a 100-inch buck and win a state. You could actually be the only buck that's entered in that state. So, you're throwing out numbers like 160s and 150s, and there's guys listening that may have never even seen a 150 on the hoof in their life. Don't get wrapped up in those numbers, because it's still relevant to the state that you're hunting in to win a state.
Yep. And we will. So I know we were talking about bows for the top buck for some states. Until we fill all those with archery shops, we still have top prizes for every state. And it might not be like a bow, but there's still things that you can win. And to your point, if you come in Rhode Island and shoot a buck, you might be the only one that year and you're winning a prize. And we're highlighting you everywhere.
Right.
Top buck, Rhode Island. So
I'm going to find the list of states that don't have entries in, and I'm just going to go hunt those states.
Yep, 100%.
I think
like Vermont.
No, I think last year Rhode Island, New Hampshire, maybe Vermont. There was quite a few in the Northeast that had 0 bucks entered.
Well, that's going to change this year. I can promise you that. It'll
I
be
think
totally
so.
different. Well, guys, I have one last question for you. Wayne, the question is, what drives you outdoors?
Well, technically, I would say my vehicle drives me outdoors.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's that guy. Dude,
no, I'm just kidding. But
it's been like 202 episodes since somebody has said that.
I've never watched it. I've listened to your podcast a couple times, but it's been a hot minute. But no, so for me, I grew up outside, like outdoors. And basically my dad is the one that got me into hunting, into the outdoors. It's just a passion that I've always had. And it's something that as I get older, I just keep getting more and more and more involved. Now I have a 2.5-year-old son, and someday I want him to follow in my footsteps. So we go down the road, he's already pointing out deer. He wants to go look for deer. So just stuff like that, like the heritage of it. I mean, being in PA, it's a big heritage state. So my father passed it on to me, and I want to pass it on to my son. But I absolutely love being in the woods, and November is the best time of the year.
Absolutely. And it's kind of funny is PA is one of those states, it's still kind of red, where like opening day of deer season with the gun is a national holiday there. I mean, it's no school on opening day of hunting season, which is...
You get the first 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday.
Could you imagine? Steve-O, could you imagine that? DA? Come on.
I never went to school opening day.
Me neither, but you were allowed to in PA. What is the chances, dude? That's wild.
Right.
There was no teacher that was going to force me to go to school on opening day of rifle season.
Neither was
Talk to my dad.
We still can't hunt Sundays, but that's a whole other.
I did manage to make my way to football practice at the end of the day, but I was in the tree stand in the morning.
So PA hasn't opened the Sunday hunting yet? No, they have certain days, right?
We have 3 Sundays. You can hunt the very last Sunday of archery, and then you can hunt the following Sunday, which is our bear season, and then the following Sunday, which is our rifle season. So there's 3 Sundays in a row you can hunt.
Okay. So, well, you got to start somewhere. That's the same, Connecticut was the same way. We started with bow hunting on private land on Sundays, and it's progressively starting to add more and more and more. We're shooting for full hunting on Sundays. So, I mean, it's 5 years later, but it does come slowly but surely. It's one of those things. DA, what drives you outdoors, brother? I know you've done this a couple of times, and you've probably been waiting to do so.
No, so it's the base one for me is my career. I'm always working. I'm working. Sometimes in high stressful areas. You come home, you got to be the perfect husband, you got to be the perfect dad, you got to be the best at work, you got to do all these things. Outdoors is my reset. Like, phones go away. I'm walking around in this beautiful area. It's quiet, it's peaceful. I'm recharging those batteries. It's what I need to get through the next week, the next month, the next year. That has always been at the core of mine. It's the recharge. It's the remotivation. And then kind of to go along with what Wayne said, like, I've got a 6-year-old now. Her and I, this last season, it was my favorite thing in the world. I started getting her into trapping. I've never trapped a day in my life. I'm an idiot. But we started this thing together where we were going to start catching raccoons and possums. Every Saturday morning, we would wake up, we would go get a donut, and we would go run the trap line. And my daughter and I each collectively killed 127 raccoons and possums. And like, it's the memories made from that are the things that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. Watching her face light up with just all these new experiences, like.
Isn't trapping one of the craziest, best things that is ever invented? Like, hands down, the coolest thing ever.
I had no idea, and I wish two things. I wish I would have learned it earlier, and I wish other people would actually try it, because I won't go down rabbit holes, but like,
it's okay.
Magically, now that I trapped all those animals on these couple farms, guess what's back?
Your
turkeys. Weird. So phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And here's me too, like, overthinking things. Like, I gotta be scent careful and stuff like that. They're freaking raccoons. I can go like throw peanut butter and cat food, and what are my things? I do marshmallows, I do sardines, and then peanut butter. And guess what? I'll go out there and there'll be 7 the next day, and it's like, yeah.
They're the greatest. It's the greatest thing in the world. Trapping is just the funnest, best thing in the. I was a full-time trapper for years, straight out of high school, and we would run 1,000 traps, and it's just one of the craziest things in the world. And then separated from it, and then back to it this year, and I'm like, what did I do the past 5 years? Why? But it's fun, and it's a good thing to get children involved in the great outdoors. Is trapping. I mean, even trapping a possum, trapping a raccoon. Those things, I mean, the simple, easy things. And then, like you said, it just brings back the turkey population, and then brings back all this other stuff. Then you're trapping coyotes, which brings back the deer, it's just, and the foxes. So that's so cool. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys jumping on, and hopefully you guys have a super successful season. And I hope guys get on over to the Bowhunting League, bowhuntingleague.com, sign up for it. Wayne, we really appreciate you joining us. I don't think it'll be the last time after all this is said and done. I think we'll have to have you on again to tell some stories.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. As always, you guys always have a home here. Always great to have you guys on. And for everyone else, thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.